Hi there. I'm recording this episode right before Valentine's Day. So, on today's episode, I'm going to share a special announcement about the podcast with you. And then I'm going to give you a tip about how to make your partner feel extra special on Valentine's Day. I'm your host, Dr. Heather England, an executive coach, psychotherapist, and relationship expert. I like talking about ways you can live your best life, especially by creating fulfilling relationships. And that includes your relationship with yourself, the people who matter most to you, such as family, friends, or coworkers, or your relationship with your sexuality. So first, let me share my special announcement with you. Many of you have given me feedback about the podcast and what type of episodes you'd like me to record and what kind of content you're really most interested in. When I started this podcast, I intended to talk about love, and that included loving yourself and loving your partner, and also talking about sex. And I've already shared this, but I made a big mistake by naming the podcast the Great Sex Podcast because for many people, that was very limiting and they thought all I was talking about was sex. And as much as I love sex, I really don't want to talk about that in every podcast episode. So I am in the process of rebranding. And I am so excited to roll out a new and improved podcast with a different name. So in the future, you will see a different name on the podcast. I'm hoping I can get it all done and rolled out by next week, but it might take me a couple of weeks. If so, I will still put some type of good content out for you next week. So please don't go away. Hang in there because I know you're going to absolutely love the new podcast. And if you have enjoyed the Great Sex Podcast, I think you'll enjoy the content in the new one even more. I still am going to talk about sex, but not with as much frequency as I did in the past. So stay tuned because I am so excited about the new change. I promised you a tip today that would help you with Valentine's Day. First, I want to honor all the people out there that don't have a partner that they're sharing Valentine's Day with for whatever reason. They may have recently lost them, they may be divorced, or they may never have met that special someone. I think we shouldn't assume that everyone is in a relationship. I also don't think we should make the assumption that everyone is in a wonderful relationship. So the tip I'm going to give you is really geared more towards those people that are in a relationship that is fulfilling enough to them that they want to continue to strengthen their relationship and they want to somehow show their partner that they are special to them on Valentine's Day. My tip for you is to think about what something is that you could do that would make your partner feel very special. How could you make your partner feel cherished? How could you make them feel that they really matter to you, that you value them, that you love them, that you desire them? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. My husband and I have an agreement that we don't do flowers on Valentine's Day. We used to many years ago, but we finally looked at each other and said, this is ridiculous to be spending this much money on flowers on Valentine's Day when we all know they are marked up a huge amount. So that was a decision we made as a couple. We also decided that we weren't going to do gifts anymore. We're older. We're at the point in our life where honestly, we're trying to get rid of stuff, not add more stuff to it. And as much as I love chocolate, I don't want my husband to buy me a big box of chocolates. And frankly, anything I want, I pretty much get for myself. So it's hard for him to think of something really unique and special to buy me. And likewise, for me to do that for him. Because we've agreed not to do the traditional flowers or chocolates or any kind of gift, that leaves us trying to come up with something that is different that we can do to communicate our love. Doing something special for your partner doesn't have to include a grand gesture, and it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. All it has to do is communicate, "You're important to me." This can be something very simple. It can be writing a heartfelt special card or note to your partner about how much they mean to you. It can be waking up in the morning and bringing them their favorite coffee. It could be making them a special dinner that night. It could be surprising them with lunch reservations to a restaurant. It could be a gift card to their favorite store. It could be planning a future activity that you know they'll really enjoy. It could be concert tickets. It could be agreeing to go to a venue or a restaurant or a festival that you know they really want to go to that isn't your cup of tea. It's a way of communicating, "I see you, I get you, I love you, I want you to be happy." Because my partner and I no longer do gifts or flowers or chocolate, we have to be a little more creative with what we do. Last year, I made reservations to a sweet little French restaurant that I thought he would really like because our honeymoon was in Paris. So it was really fun for us to go to this restaurant and we could talk all about our honeymoon and we could talk about that special time in our life when we had first fallen in love and gotten married. It made for a really special Valentine's Day date. This year, I'm working on Valentine's Day, so we won't be able to cut out and go to a Valentine's Day lunch. But my husband's already ahead of me. He's planning a really special dinner that he's cooking for me. And why is this special? Because he absolutely hates to cook. So for him to do this act of service for me is really extra special. And he knows I'll be getting home late after a very long day, and it will be especially nice for me to come home to a really nice home cooked meal. For me, that's absolutely perfect. It communicates to me that he understands me, he knows what's important to me, and he wants to do something special to take care of me. It makes me feel very loved. As I wrap this up, the challenge is for you to think about something special that you can do for your partner. Now, you might be listening to this after Valentine's Day, but hey, there's 364 days in the year besides Valentine's Day. You can do something special for your partner any one of those days. You don't have to limit it to Valentine's Day. And the more you can do little things for your partner to communicate your love to them, the more you are going to strengthen your relationship and you are going to have the kind of relationship you dream about. And in the end, it's our relationships that are the most important things in our lives. And they are the things that drive the most happiness for us. So the more we can invest in our relationships, the happier we'll be. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to all of you listeners. Your support has meant the world to me. It is really pushing me out of my comfort zone to do this podcast, and I'm really starting to enjoy it. And I am so psyched for the new podcast, and I just can't wait to see your reaction because I think you're going to absolutely love it. I'm crazy about the new name, and I'm already thinking of cool t-shirts and sweatshirts and swag I can put the new name on. Happy Valentine's Day and happy love to all of you. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.